All right, everybody. Good afternoon. Some stuff you've probably heard about over the weekend here, but also a couple other things that I recently found that I really want to help clarify for people um, uh, concerning PS5 games and their updates. So first, we're going to talk about Shadowlands being delayed. So this is something that the WoW community, has been asking for a very, very long time. We knew from the way that Alpha was looking and everything else that it was going to be, or not Alpha, but how Beta was looking and how the testing was happening, coming up to this point, completely unfinished. Endgame zones were not done, balancing issues were still rampant. And so they did announce that they are pushing it back to an undisclosed date by the end of the year. Now, I think this is a very, very good choice. I wish they would have said something a little bit sooner. I think that's the general consensus in the community is that it's a good thing. A lot of people are upset that it happened so late in the development cycle, when I think a lot of people could tell from a lot of months prior, and even the month before October, that this was nowhere near ready to be released. And I'm glad that they did do this. Another thing that they're doing as well that I actually found out about today is that they're offering refunds because of the pushback date. So if you are completely dissatisfied with World of Warcraft, you can ask for a refund of your Shadowlands expansion. So if that is something that you want to do, you could definitely do that. Now, me personally, this gives me a little bit of hope, but I don't think it's going to be the hope in the direction that I specifically would want to see, but it's still a good thing in general. So a couple of the changes that they did recently on the beta and the PTR was give rogues an entirely new Covenant ability. It replaced one of their lamer ones, which was basically, it was the Venthyr Covenant ability, which basically copy and pasted Deadly Poison, which was a passive poison that all specs of the rogue are now going to have. So very lackluster. They changed it to Flagellation, and basically you can accrue combo points every time you spend a combo point, you get a stack on the target after you use the ability, and then you can remove the stacks for a mastery buff. I think that's really nice, actually. I think that's really, really nice. It's definitely a better move than, copy and pasting a spell that they already had. But what this means at this late stage is that they are looking to they have the power and the go ahead to just revamp all of these systems. Now, I don't think they're going to go with the route that most of us want, and that is removing covenants from player power. But that being said, I do see a lot of room for it to improve and get better. They also are still having a lot of balancing issues. So when looking at a DPS graph for highest rated spells of what did the most damage when you're in an encounter, a lot of people coming out of Battle for Azeroth, the previous expansion, your max damage is not your own character, right? It's corruptions, it's essences, it's Azerite armor. That doesn't look like it's going to change. And that's not good. It's not good. For example, the serrated spike out of the Necrolords for the rogues was doing a total of 28% of their total damage. That's a lot. A fourth of your damage is coming from a Covenant ability? Too much. Too much. Too much. But they nerfed that by 200%. So there it is. They gave it and they take it away. But this is just showing how unbalanced it was going to be. So I'm glad that they are taking the extra time to really solidify what they are doing and like what they're going on with. So I'm hopeful and happy that they are pushing it back. I really, really hope that in the end we can all choose covenants that just we like thematically and lore wise, and that's really all we're asking for at the end of the day. It's just a freedom of that sort of choice where the numbers don't really matter too much. They're basically the same, and then we can pick freely. And I'm really hoping in these months that they're taking for extra development, and I really hope that they can get that going and get that right. I would love to hear your thoughts on this. If you are a World of Warcraft player, please let me know in the comments or in the chat section. That would be great. I would love to hear your input and feedback, as we might be different type of players, and you might see this as a totally different situation than me. But yeah, like I said, I think this is overall a positive move. I think it's actually a good thing too that they're offering refunds for unsatisfied people. I think that is really nice. I actually think a couple friends of mine might want to take advantage of that have completely fallen out from World of Warcraft. So if you guys are listening, there it is. You can get your money back. Me personally, I'm not going to get the refund. I still do enjoy it, and really, really am hoping that this can turn out to be an expansion that I fall in love with, and it really gives a revamp. Another notable thing about this delay, though, they actually haven't delayed an expansion since Burning Crusade. Back in, God, what year was that? When was Burning Crusade released? Like 2009? Crusade released. Let's find out. 2007. Yeah. They haven't pushed back a date for a game, for an expansion for World of Warcraft since 2007. Now, does that mean that all the expansions have been ready on launch? No. No, not in the slightest. Which is why I'm happy, because I feel like the community feedback, the community has done a fantastic job giving not just harsh criticism, but well-constructed feedback from very high-profile players, from just popular people in the community who really care about the game, who give different sides of they're on different sides of the player base, but their general consensus is the same about the game, and they all just want to see it flourish and do well. And I feel like all of this extra attention and like community push has hopefully lit a fire under the devs' asses, and we can get a nice expansion that can quote unquote save the game, because right now it's a shit show. It's a shit show. So here's the hoping. Here is the hoping. And next, on our next little conversation topic of devs doing things, this one's not so much on the positive side. So Cyberpunk 2077 has come under fire recently, as they enter, as a lot of game industry techs call it, crunch time. So this has actually been something that Cyberpunk has said that they're not going to do. In previous interviews, Marcin Iwinski told game journalists that we want to be more humane and treat people with respect, and multiple other accounts of him saying, no, we will not enter crunch time. There has been a leaked email obtained by Bloomberg saying that there is a crunch time, and they're going to have to be doing that to meet their November release date. They have already pushed back the release of this game a couple times, and I think this is a situation where they have their back up against the wall with console releases and getting their game on the platform, and probably pre-existing contracts can only push it back so far. Now, that being said, if you need more time, the community would be happy to give it to you. I promise. We would rather you take time to make the game good than have it released crappy. We've had that too many times. But people are mad about the crunch time just because it's against the original policy that CD Projekt Red had. But what does that mean? It means working 6 days. It means working some weekends. But apparently this has been happening for about a year now for some of the employees. And yes, they need to take more time. And the reason why they've gotten to this is, and I quote, "We've extended all other possible means of navigating the situation." So what I assume that means is they have tried to renegotiate a release date with companies and like financial backers and stuff like that, and they had an extra 2-3 month extension a couple times, and I really hope this game can be what everyone hopes, because this is a tricky spot, right? Because the hype train for Cyberpunk is insane. It has been insane since they initially announced it, right? Everyone's like, oh, Cyberpunk. And I'm worried. I'm worried that that hype train is going to blow out of proportion what the game is actually going to deliver and be. Because you have like all these notions and ideas in your head of what it's going to be like, and of course we've all watched gameplay, etc. But actually getting it is so much different, Yeah, there is a lot of hype around it, especially from a very, very reputable studio, CD Projekt Red, like we've had great games come from them, fantastic games. Yeah, the trailer was fucking fantastic. I watched a 45-minute gameplay trailer. I watched the initial release, and I was like, God, this looks really good. Now, I really hope it doesn't fall prey to the Ubisoft treatment, where the trailer and everything looks beautiful, right? You're like, oh my God, this is the next gen shit. And then you get the game, and it's 3 tiers down graphically than what they showed you in the trailer. I think that's actually been addressed, but I don't remember the answer. I think, of course, they're going to say it's going to look like this, but that's what they all say. There's been some rumors circulating that is a worry. And if they're in a crunch time and are scrambling to meet a deadline, then that may very well end up taking some hits. So I'm worried, and I wish CD Projekt Red the best going forward with this. I wish their employees the best. I hate to see them having to work after, kind of the stigma of, not having overtime employees and stuff like that. So I really hope that could go well, and it doesn't really affect employees and management too much. And man, I hope that game's good. I really do. I really hope that if it comes, push comes to shove and they still aren't done, I need them to delay it. No one wants this game to come out broken. No one. Everyone has high hopes. Everyone has high hopes for this. So, speaking on games, though. Game news, what a surprise. I read this article about PS5 games that was a little bit confusing at first. And I really want to let people know that are planning to get a PS5, what the upgrade means for your games from PS4 to PS5, and why not to spend extra money if you don't want to. So I'm just going to read this article. I will actually put it up here too if you guys want to read along with me here. I'm just going to go ahead and skip down a little bit, but basically what this is saying, so Microsoft, when they do their games for the new series, everything is backwards compatible, right? You can play older games on the new stuff, and that's okay. Now, PlayStation is going to be a little bit different. So here it is. Meanwhile, pre-order listings for PS5 games show 2 different boxes, one for next gen and one for PS4. But plenty of PS4 games will have free upgrades to PS5, which will probably be a little confusing for those who are window shopping, but it is a distinction that is really important to make, and it could really save you a lot of money here if you do it right. PS5 pre-order listings for a trio of upcoming Ubisoft games, for example, Watch Dogs, Assassin's Creed, and Far Cry, are currently live on Amazon, fully selling at $60, while the PS5 versions are at full price. The PS4 listings are discounted to about $49.94, so about $50. So what you do is you can buy the PS4 version, put that into your PS5, and it will get a free upgrade. So basically, you can spend less money, get the same game. So if you are thinking that it's not going to work going from PS4 games to PS5 games, and you're going to have to rebuy them, do not do that. You can just do the free upgrade, unless you are really, really stuck on like getting the new boxes, the new art that says PS5 on it, then by all means. But just don't be confused by a couple of different options if you are looking to pick up pre-orders for PS5 games, because the PS4 orders are up there and so are the PS5 orders. So if you do want to save a little bit of money, PS4 pre-orders, go ahead and plop that in the PS5 and you'll get the free upgrade. So that is just something that I saw that people will have to be a little bit careful of if you are looking for physical copies, just to make sure you don't double buy something. Let's say you already had Valhalla, for example, and you saw the PS5 and you're like, oh, well, now they have a PS5 version, I have to buy that. Save your money. Don't worry about it. Just plop that disc in and you're going to be doing fine. You're going to be doing just fine. So I actually have a bit of positive news today, because I think we all need some. And it's actually really nice to see this. This came out about a month ago as a medical study for video games on CNN Health. I will link the article for you guys. So, video games help children improve literacy, communication, and mental well-being, survey finds. This is actually a really, really nice article, considering the stigma that's been around gaming and children. So parents had long debated the impact of video games on children's minds. Now a new survey suggests that playing may actually improve their literacy, communication skills, and overall mental well-being. National Literacy Trust interviewed about 4.6k people between the ages of 11 and 16 from across the UK for the video game survey. The interviews were conducted between November and December of 2019. Alright, so that's the case study. So more than a third of the children who played said that they believe video games make them better readers, with the vast majority, about 80%, saying they read materials related to gaming once a month. The materials included in-game communications, reviews, and books. All that reading may also help players improve their writing. About 3 in 5, so about 60%, of young people who play video games also write something related to gaming once a month, the survey found. Many write blogs and fan fiction. The shared cultural experience of gaming also supports positive communication with friends and family, according to researchers. The survey found that 3 in 4 young people who play talk to their friends about video games, compared to the only 3 in 10 who discuss books. Young people said that playing video games helps them build social connections both in real life and online. Stronger communication and social connections make for improved mental well-being, the researchers concluded. And many young people play video games to help them escape, deal with, and manage stress and difficult emotions. And especially during a lockdown, a pandemic, is extremely important because it allows us to communicate with our friends, to play with them, to still interact with other people in a medium that's really fun, and still get those social experiences. I think it's really, really cool that they've made an article like this. It's just so different excuse me, than the vast majority of like other news sources covering video games, right? It's always negative. It's always they cause violence, this, that, and the other thing. And I'm glad that they're revisiting the scope of what video games actually do for people. Because let's be real, we all love it. That's why we're here, you know? That's why we're doing game news, because I love it. I love talking about it. I love reading about it. I love just being in the know about the game industry, the development, and that has led me to do my own research. It has led me to do this, you know, to read through articles, to critically think. And I wouldn't be doing that if it wasn't for video games. And I think that's really, really cool. I'm glad that it has a spark of importance to a lot of people. And I think that's really, really cool. And that's the positive note that we're going to end on today. Video games are good for your kids. You read it here first, folks. You read it here first. We are good for your kids. Oh, man, that is good to read. A little bit of smile on my face, you know. We need that every once in a while. Well, everyone, there it is. World of Warcraft, Shadowlands Delayed. Refunds available. CD Projekt Red. Going into some crunch time. Will it be ready? Will it not be ready? We will see. PS5 Games. Be very, very careful about what you buy, and if you already have it, you can do a free upgrade. And then lastly, video games can be very helpful. Of course, everything in moderation, and obviously don't let an underage child play rated M games and stuff, but I think it's a great experience, and it's a great way to build social skills, to build just anything, team building, anything like that. And I think it's a very, very nice source for people to be engaged in. So everyone, thank you so much for joining me today. I will be back tomorrow playing some Dark Souls. So if you want to see me yell, rage, kick, and scream, we'll be facing that fucking Capper Demon tomorrow. It's going down. Everyone, thank you so much for joining me. Make sure to hit that bell to know when I go live. And everyone have a fantastic rest of your day. Take care. End screen. It's here somewhere. Love you guys.